like it's disconnected from the main product, where NXT doesn't have that. When you watch an NXT crossover where somebody comes up from NXT, or they have NXT matches and they had NXT on WWE, it didn't feel like it was a cross. It didn't feel like it was a separate product. You know what I mean? It felt like it was attached. 205 Live legitimately, to me, feels detached from the rest of WWE. I don't know if it's because it's so brand new. I don't know if it's because they haven't made their mark yet. I don't know if it's the psychology. I don't know if it's the lack of wrestlers. I don't know if it's a combination of all of that. But for whatever reason, 205 Live, in my opinion, is not a successful idea right now.
No. I don't think anybody really outside of WWE, and it's, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here. Aside from their office, I guess you could say, really looked at that and said, this is going to fucking kill. Like, no, and maybe, you know what? I can't even assume that they thought it was going to kill, because they might have just said, this will be passable.
Right.
This will be something to fill the airtime. But no, WWE was absolutely, positively interested in having a cruiserweight-themed kind of flippy-dippy show. And I think it's because they've started to realize that there is a market for that there are people that are into that. But once again, I don't know if those people are the same exact ones that, like, they want to tune in and watch another WWE show.
Right.
I think that NXTNA, that's NXT now, is right. NXTNA. But NXT did so well throughout, the 2 years where it basically was killing it, because they were able to separate their brand while at the same time letting you know that, hey guys, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, at any time.
Right, absolutely.
Anytime, nudge, nudge.
But I think that was the other thing, too, is that the people in NXT, when you're talking about that, when you go back to having Sasha Banks and Bayley and Charlotte all the way down on the NXT roster, and you think about that, you were watching those girls, and I'm just talking about the women's division alone, I'm not even talking about the guys at this point, but the women alone, you were looking at going, these girls could kill everybody up on fucking Raw or on SmackDown. They kill the Bellas. They kill all the Oksanas and Alicia Foxes on the roster. You didn't look at Charlotte or Sasha or Becky or any of those girls down there and think, they might be able to hang.
Yeah,
they weren't lesser.
Right.
At that point, when you were watching NXT, you saw these girls and you're like, they're better than the fucking mainstream product. And that's how NXT established itself. All of a sudden, even though it was the attached product, the people that were coming out of NXT were better than what WWE has been giving us. And that became the issue.
Well, yeah, it is. And it still kind of remains an issue. And that's mostly because of the fact that WWE now has absorbed these guys and just made them into everybody else. That's it. That's the scariest thing about being on the WWE main roster nowadays, is that you can just get absorbed. You can just get you're just there, and it's, oh, hey, down here you're the shit.
Right.
But then you go up there and you're just another guy, you're just another girl, and people can forget about you really fast.
Wrestling's National Committee brings up, he's like, Triple H said at the UK press conference that he's hoping 205 Live turns into a separate touring brand like NXT does, and tour around the country as its own brand.
Oh, stop.
Do you think that will help?
That's fucking asinine.
Do you think that will help if they keep the Cruiserweights as a separate brand in 205, add a Cruiserweight tag titles and shit, and be the fourth brand as the UK becomes their fifth brand? No. They don't need more brands.
You're getting a brand! You're getting a brand! Oh, that's a fucking brand!
We're going to have WWE Kids, where there's kids wrestling around the world. Why not? WWE Pets. Watch this British Bulldog fight this little lab terrier.
Give everybody a brand. You want a brand? Here's a brand for you.
WWE Puppies. Get it? Ugh.
WWE Horses versus Dogs. Yeah. Ooh. Everyone gets a fucking brand.
Yeah, but they're trying, man. I can see silly shit like that.
None of them are successful, but there's 100 of them. Yeah.
Triple H said Raw and SmackDown had their own change in rosters, and superstars move from red and blue and vice versa in upcoming storylines and drafts. But he hinted at another brand that might be in the mix, NXT. Apparently he was talking to ESPN.com, and he said you really can't consider NXT as a developmental territory because they did 200 shows this year, and they have one of the most popular shows on the network. We just brought that up. Absolutely agree. He's quoted as saying, I think over the years you're going to begin to see Raw as its own brand, SmackDown is its own brand, and NXT you're going to see people move around. It's no longer going to be just this guy got called up. It's going to be maybe this guy got moved over and she got moved over here, and see that transference of talent. Triple H brought up as an example with Shinsuke Nakamura, who he says that fans are waiting to be called up. He said that he might go back to what we now call the main roster, but after that he might go back to NXT. At the end of the day, it's all content. It's a product that our fans want to see. The difference is those products is big, but there's something there for everybody. I think that's what's exciting about it. Now that's an interesting idea. I'm actually okay with that, and me and you have talked about that before. And if this is an idea that WWE has, where you can take people from Raw and you can take people from SmackDown, and now you can put them down to NXT, I'm not against that. I was all for taking Bayley right the fuck back off Raw and putting her back down in NXT.
Yeah, that I agree with. I think that you know what? I think that NXT, for the most part, if it had kept its steam, which they should have been able to do that by kind of lightly bringing these guys and girls up, just one, maybe one at a time, slow it down,
Right.
instead of a mass exodus, which essentially killed the fucking brand. If they'd have done that slowly, then that would have left room for certain things to happen that might have been interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been like, oh man, wouldn't it be crazy if so-and-so, like if Sami Zayn had stayed down there, for example. It's like, oh man, Zayn's down there. And then it's like, oh shit, Dolph Ziggler showed up to fight Sami Zayn.
Right.
Instead of it now, it's like, hey, no, it's on Raw, and it's on, we're just going to show you that, like, once every other month or once every other week. Like, that would have been a way to have kept it special in some way, shape, or form. And they just didn't do that. They just chose not to.
Right.
They put them on Raw, and they make you just like everyone else, where, oh, hey, guys, got another great, exciting match. It's like...
Exactly.
Same old shit, It just becomes the same thing over and over and over again.
And I think that that's actually that's the good premise for this, is the idea to have surprise opponents from different brands appearing on those other brands as surprise opponents. It's very simple. You have somebody going in for a title or a contendership, and somebody gets injured, that old storyline, and they can't make the number one contendership. Oh, all of a sudden it's Dolph Ziggler showing up to fight Samoa Joe. Holy shit, I mean, it's stuff like that that makes it interesting, and now it doesn't force people to watch, because you don't want to force your fans to watch. You want to intrigue them to watch. This is the kind of stuff that intrigues people to watch.
Right. It needs to be that there needs to be some sort of element of surprise.
Right.
That's really it. I think that's what NXT, that's what it could have been. NXT could have been that show where you're just sitting there and you're going, shit, what is going to happen next?
Yeah.
Who is going to show up? Wouldn't it be crazy if so-and-so was to appear? That's what ECW had back in the day.
Right.
The old turn the lights off, turn them back on. Who's it going to be? Imagine if that had been what NXT could have been able to hold on to. That's what it should have been.
Did the bear thing bother you? I'm flipping over here a little bit. Did the stupid bear segment bother you?
Bear segment?
Yeah, on Raw, they had Gallows or whatever rip apart the bear. The teddy bear. The Dusty Rhodes bear from the 80s. Do you remember that shit? He had like it was a little teddy bear with the Dusty Rhodes bandana on.
Oh, I just saw Cody Rhodes get disgruntled about this, but I didn't watch it. What happened?
I mean, they just ripped the head off the bear and they threw it to the ground.
Who did that?
The Gallows Anderson.
So
Oh yeah, Bailey gave it to him.
Bailey?
That's right.
They did that to Bailey?
Bailey gave it to them. I thought she was going to give him a hug, but she gave him a bear.
Oh.
And then they came over.
That's what Cody Rhodes was so upset about?
Yeah.
Cody, they're heels.
It's a bear.
Yeah, it's a teddy bear.
I like Cody Rhodes, but I mean,
I do too, but come on,
bear,
bro. It's a fucking dude. They're heels. It's a teddy bear, man. It's not real.
Right.
You know,
and I get that. Monroe
bullets.
Preacher is saying it's like because she looked up to her father and everything else like that. Absolutely. I mean, this is. I never took it as an insult to Dusty Rhodes. I just thought they were being dicks. They weren't. They weren't trying to like when they ripped the head off that bear. Do people see that as they were trying to rip the head off of Dusty Rhodes?
Actually, you know what? Do you know what bothers me about that? Is like when people talk about that, especially with wrestlers, like this guy, you know, that passed away. They would never do that. Trust me. If these guys were alive, they would be fucking psyched to hear that. Like Dusty Rhodes. If you said to Dusty Rhodes, okay, and maybe Cody doesn't agree because you know. He's just being fucking butthurt or whatever.
Right.
And I'm not assuming that I know his dad better than he knows him, or I'm not assuming that I know anybody's fucking anybody better than anybody. But if you're an old school wrestler and someone said, hey, we're going to do that, they'd be like, fuck yeah, dude, get that heat, man. You know?
Right.
Make that money, sell those tickets. You fucking get that, baby, you know? Whatever you can to get these people to hate your guts.
Right.
And that would be the right thing to do. That's the right fucking thing to do. Okay.
FS Apollo says that the bear was from a loot crate, and the only reason I bring this up is because I remember the bear from the old WWF merchandise catalogs. So yeah, it might be from the crate now, of course, and thank you for that. But I thought it was like, I actually thought it was like, oh man, where did they get a bear from the '80s? Wow,
Yeah.
you think that thing would have had mange by now? But yeah, I'll go on. So.
Do you know why? Do you want to know why Cody Rhodes was upset about that? Because it was WWE. It's once again, dude. It's the hipster thing. It's the same exact shit that I said about Ricochet getting all mad because stupid Dana Brooke did his moves. It's this mentality where it's like, well, because WWE did it, and now I'm angry. It's like, well, what if you were on an indie show, okay? If you were Cody Rhodes and you were on an indie show,
right?
And a heel did that to you and threw it at you, you wouldn't get stopped.
Right, I agree.
You wouldn't have you would know, oh, okay, this guy's doing this to get heat on me.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good match now. You know, like he would get that. At least you would hope he would get that. And that's what it was supposed to be, dude. It's you're a heel, you're a dickhead, you're despicable, you do bad things. You're supposed to do angry, awful shit that makes people think you're a bad person. That's how you get heat, buddy. You should know that. That's what he was so upset about. I mean, like, I feel like
WNC is saying that he's still hurting from Dusty's passing. And
stop.
I know. Man, I mean,
it's fake. It's a show.
Exactly. I mean, you can't dictate somebody's connection to their father. You know what I mean? I get that. Who the fuck is going to sit there and say, well, you should stop feeling bad now because it's been long enough? You can't. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, it's wrestling. It's the industry that you made all your money in. It's the industry that your dad made all his money in. Like, you should know it better by now.
Right. You think to yourself, don't you know better at this point? You definitely do.
I mean, Eddie Guerrero died, and we rushed his widow and his son on television to work an angle where they didn't know who his son belonged to between Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero.
Right.
I mean...
Because dude, that's how carny wrestlers think, man. That's what it is. That's the carny mentality. It's whatever you can to make money, whatever you can to elicit the emotions of people,
right.
As opposed to what they're doing now, which, you know, once again, it should show you that they're not playing on real emotions. They're not playing on real feelings. It's coming off as fake. It's coming off as phony, and that's why people don't fucking care about it.
Did I mess it up? It was Eddie versus Ray. No, it wasn't Eddie versus Ray. It was Chavo.
Because Eddie was dead.
Yeah, Eddie passed away.
Yeah, so
That's
that
why
would have
I
been a
did
pretty short match. Easy match tonight.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Ugh.
Hey, boss, you wrote me in against the dead guy. Yeah, whatever, man. Easy payday.
Right. What are you, Ken Anderson over here?
It's hard to pin his shoulders when I can't get him out of this casket.
It was Eddie Mish. Yeah, it was. I'm your poppy. You're right.
No.
You're right.
Oh, it was Eddie.
It was. Well, there was a match after that I thought that was pretty rough. I thought it was
You're
over
too
the fight
cool
of
for
the kid.
facts, Mish.
Oh my God, I got it wrong. I'm sorry. I was
Remember
I was too
review?
busy celebrating my birthday.
Too cool for facts. That was the Stitcher review that we got. Did you know that?
Oh boy.
That we're too cool for facts. AKA we're not fucking burgery and sit around and...
Sorry.
Yeah, one time in 1994, this happened in a wrestling match.
You guys want to watch J-Cup again?
Actually, it's not the Pegasus Kid.
I actually only appreciated Chris Jericho when he was Lionheart.
You pronounced the name of the Japanese wrestlers incorrectly.
Oh.
I don't appreciate that. Fuck you, Rain Man.
You mean you don't have the entire box set of Grado's greatest matches?
Do you guys get it? He's got a backwards hat on. He's funny. He's being ironic. He's got a fanny pack. Those are so
Yeah,
lame.
I fucked up. Where's the deflection?
Huh?
My apologies. I fucked up. My apologies. There you go. There's the deflection.
He's being ironic,
Dear
guys. He thinks it's cool, but it's not cool.
Sorry.
Do you get it?
Sorry.
Hey,
I bring my family name dishonor.
can we talk about Foley real quick?
Oh, yeah. Mick Foley.
By the way, I'm not really angry about it anymore. I was angry about it when I first saw it, then I got all the facts, and I feel a little better about it now.
Okay, Mick Foley says that he needs hip replacement surgery, but apparently doesn't have any insurance. He said, just like many former superstars, he does not currently have insurance, and the operation costs around $60,000. He's like, I have this tiny little problem that I don't actually have health insurance. For 26 years, I had health insurance, but for the past 4 years, things got more complicated. And in 2016, I missed a payment and was no longer insured. He said that he will try his best in 2017 to get insurance, but doesn't know if a new insurance company will shell out money for surgery that should have been done several years ago. Foley revealed that he's on a handshake deal with WWE and is in the job as long as he enjoys it and as long as WWE is happy with him. Quote, no contract involved at all except for the Legends deal, which is strictly about merchandise, Foley wrote, explaining why the Raw GM has to buy his own health insurance. He did say, however, that ever since he took on the job, the pain has increased, and once this job is gone and travel will be much less, the quality of life will probably improve when Stephanie and WWE decide to go in a new direction. Mick Foley also added that with or without a hip replacement, he will still lead a good life, and that there's enough medication out there to help him with the pain. I hope that I'm given the opportunity to take advantage of this new technology. Maybe some enterprising orthopedic specialists can think outside the box and look at me as a potential poster boy for their services. If The Rock can sell tires, then I have to believe I can sell hip replacements, Foley wrote. Now, the rumor mills were talking about him starting GoFundMes for this, which at that point I was like, really? I just couldn't believe that Mick Foley would have ever started any kind of campaign to raise the money, but from everything I've been reading since, there's been no other mention of it. And I never saw it on his original Facebook post either, leading me to believe that that was just people saying shit.
Yeah, that's I'd heard many different stories about this. At first, when I'd heard it, I thought it might have been Foley at the starts of like an e-begging thing from him,
Right.
Which I was gonna fucking lose it when I first heard it, because I was like, this is a guy that's got millions of dollars in the bank, so he should definitely go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Like, I heard that, and I was like, oh, okay, he better not be asking for a nickel, because that dude's got fucking money.
Right.
He's been stacking it for a long time. But, no, it's just, I don't know what he was trying to prove here. I feel like maybe what he was meaning to say, but he just didn't say it correctly, was, hey, if I can have this happen, what about other wrestlers?
Right.
I'm hoping that's what he was going for. I'm hoping he was going for, hey, If this can happen to Mick Foley, a man that's got shit tons of money in the bank, what's going to happen to a fill-in-the-blank mid-card, lower mid-card guy when push comes to shove, But also, like him saying, oh, I missed a payment or whatever.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you miss a payment, dude? Put it on automatic payments. Especially when it's your health insurance.
Right. Especially when you're Mick Foley and it's your health insurance.
And you're a millionaire.
Right.
You have millions of dollars, dude. Like, it's not like, oh, shit, I'm sorry, that check bounced? Check ain't bouncing, homie. You've got millions of dollars. Why wouldn't you just fucking do it the right way,
And what kind of shitty insurance company would let Mick Foley bounce a check?
Right, yeah. Wouldn't they call him up and say, hey...
dude, I don't know what happened here, but you might want to resend that one.
Yeah, you're a millionaire. Or like, we know you're a millionaire. Or not even, hey, we know you're a millionaire, but, hey, we want your money.
How about we'll float you a month, and then we'll hit you up next month and say, hey, you owe us for last month too, buddy.
Right. And I don't know, man.
What a horrible insurance company he had.
I know. He's probably like, well, let's see, my body is made of twigs and berries. I could have dementia at any moment. What's the most discount one I could get? What do you got there? You got,
Alexi Gumball is saying, I have a shitty insurance company. They want their payments on time, I assure you. Yeah, but at the same time, he's probably had the insurance company forever. He isn't going for the bare minimum package. He isn't going for liability. You know what I mean?
Mick Foley's sitting there. He's like, pull and pray. That sounds like the right insurance company for me to have. The official insurance company of poor dads.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dumb. That's fucking dumb.
I know.
No, I mean, maybe if that's what he was going for, great. Some part of me still believes that maybe the office caught wind of it and said to him, like, you better fucking cut that shit out, homie. You're not getting any goddamn money, man. Dude, I had so many people get mad the second I saw him post that. I had so many people write angry messages where they were just like, that fucking asshole, he's got so much money, he better not be asking for a dime.
National Committee and Wrestling's National Committee got in the chat. He said that apparently somebody tried to open up a GoFundMe for him.
Oh.
And he turned around and said, no.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if WWE had really caught wind of that, they would have been pissed.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, you would think that WWE, if you really needed help, you think they would have jumped in some money for that. Come on.
Of course, yeah. I mean, well, he's technically a current employee of theirs, too. So, right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd tried to help him in some aspect, If anything, just to shut him up.
Yeah.
For WWE to cut a check for even $20,000 nowadays just to get people to stay out of the public eye in a negative way, to them it's worth it.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. That's what I was worried about too. It's like, I mean, at the same point, I believe him when he says he needs hip replacement. It's not like I doubt him that his hip hurts, that his years of wrestling have perhaps damaged him in some way. I don't think that that's unfeasible to think about. Just the idea that he needed to go to the fans. That was the part that irked a lot of people, And it wasn't true. Like I said, it was somebody else opened it up in his name, and he was like, no.
Yeah, no, okay. No, thank you. Much appreciated, but no. Yeah, when I first heard that, too, I was really hoping that it wasn't going to become that. But Foley just needs to stay. He needs to just not get interviewed, man. He's one of those guys that if he's not saying something stupid, he's saying something that he's going to get misinterpreted.
Sure.
He's one of those people to a fucking T. Like, Foley at this point, to me, he looks better than he ever has in his entire life, basically, at least in his time in the public light. Just, get a haircut, shave your beard. Please, look like a human being. He's lost like 100-something pounds.
Yeah, no, he has.
He's actually thin. Mick Foley is thin. Like, if he put on some clothes that actually fit, like a suit or like a form-fitting shirt, he would be thin. And if he cut that dumb fucking hair that looks like a weird 80s mullet, it looks like a mom. Like, it literally looks like an 80s mom. That's what his hair looks like. And if he cut that, he'd actually be a normal, like, in shape dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But maybe, you know what? That also could be a part of him doing like. Wait, has he had the surgery yet, or is he having it?
I think it's in the works. He's still trying to get it done.
Oh, okay. You know what? He could get it. Yeah. This is what I hate about this. Is it's like, okay, he shouldn't have even have brought up the cost. He should never have brought up having it. He should just go, like, yeah, I'm gonna have a hip surgery. You know, wear and tear.
Right.
And that is it. Left it at that. Because we all know Mick Foley he's had the shit beat out of him. By the way, Mick Foley loves to talk about that almost every other month on the show. Oh, you want to have a hell of a show? Screamy, scream.
Well, it's been almost 20 years, man. It's been almost 20 years since he really fucking broke out in WWE. When he had his moments. You know what I mean?
You would yell. Like that's
the day of shit brown suit Foley, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Like, I love Mick Foley, man. He was one of my favorite guys all the time, but it's just he's getting to this point where I don't want to hear him anymore. I don't want to hear him talk. I don't want to hear him I don't want to see him on a TV show. I'm kind of all set with him.
Right.
You know? He's blown himself out. And, you know, I've had people tell me stories about him being on indie shows or working in certain places, and he's not that easy to work with, and he bitches about money. And he said, you know, why does so-and-so make more money than me, fill in the blank, and blah, 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 blah. And he just doesn't get that he's not the star that he was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Nor does he not understand the fact that the guy has been on the indies for a long time now.
Right.
Everyone that's wanted to see him has seen him, dude. Everybody. Like, if you wanted to see Mick Foley, you wanted to spend $20 to go out to a show and spend, you know, $50 for an autograph and a picture or whatever, you've done it already.
Right. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He attends everything now too. I mean, if you haven't seen him at a fucking Great America or a Disney park, then you've probably seen him at a Comic-Con. You've probably seen him doing stand-up. You've probably seen him selling a book. You've probably seen him on TV or some sort of TV event. Or you've seen him at wrestling events. He's everywhere. He has no problem shilling himself out to the public. Foley is probably, to be fair, I would say Foley's probably one of the most accessible wrestlers out there.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But you know what, though? There's a price that comes with being accessible. And that price is that eventually, when you're accessible, you've been accessed.
Right.
And once you've been accessed and everybody's seen you and everybody's met you and everybody's got the picture and the autograph and the t-shirt and the 8x10 and the fill in the blank, you know, eventually someone goes, oh, I don't need to see them anymore.
See, and Big brings up in the chat room, it's like, well, you know, this is kind of expected when your body is accustomed to being a big fat fuck. And then you lose it. Your organs can stop functioning properly and lead to death in some cases. But Mick Foley isn't a guy who is stuck in a chair. He's not like wheelchair bound. He's not fat because he doesn't move. He's just, I think that's just his genetics. He obviously moves. He probably doesn't move anywhere near like he used to.
No.
But I mean,
well,
even
you know, it's a combination of things. He's older. He's not moving as much.
But I mean, even when he was younger, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just his body makeup. And obviously, he was running around back then. It wasn't like the guy who was like, blown up after 3 minutes.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's too. There's some people that it's just like their bodies are a certain way and there's not much you can do about it. They can lose weight. They can get in better cardiovascular shape, but that's basically how they look. You know, that's what it comes down to. For example, a guy like Kevin Owens, where he was skinny when he was younger, but at this point, for Kevin Owens to actually be in bad shape, unless he's just waking up in the morning and he's just like, half pound of bacon wrapped in cookies.
See,
like,
but there's guys like that. Look at Samoa Joe. Now, Samoa Joe's weight has fluctuated a lot over the years, but he's always been active. Even at some of his heaviest moments, he's still the guy doing muscle busters and shit off the top rope. You know, he's a very active big guy. Some guys are like that. You know, they don't all end up being Yokozuna.
Yes. Well, it's really, really hard to ever get into the topic of weight and body type and all of that other shit because it really does vary from person to person. So much so, you know? And it's genetics. It's more than just diet and exercise. I don't think people realize that, because how many dudes have you known in your life that you just fucking hated because they would just be like, no, dude, I just drink beer every day and I just eat like shit, and then I go to the gym twice a week, and here I am, and I'm 6'1", and I have rippling fucking abs and muscles, and you're like, you fucking
It's
asshole.
Genetics. That's why it's fucking.
It's just genetics. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. Just like the dudes that you know, where it's just like, man, that guy, he's you know, he's always out running. He's playing sports. Like, he's an active guy. He works on his feet. Like, he does tons of shit, and it's like, and he just looks like a fucking slob, dude. Like, that's just how it is to some people. There's no way around it. But, you know, with Foley, I think Foley, you know, obviously, like most people, he could be in better shape, or he could have been in better shape, and now he's finally starting to get to it.
Right.
But yeah, he does, dude. He needs to cut his hair and shave that beard. I think he's attached to it because of the whole wrestling thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what, man? You won't fully enjoy how good you look and how good a shape you are in now until he does that, you know?
Right.
Once he does that, I think you'll be like, oh my God, he's a different human being. I think he'll feel better for it.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we can hit up on? I mean, it's been kind of a land week. I mean, we could talk about Anthem. I really don't want to, though.
What is Anthem?
Anthem, or buying TNA or whatever. They own TNA as of the first.
Oh,
that fucking
God.
thing. Not Anthem. Shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
Anthem. It's Anthem something. It's Anthem. Oh yeah, Anthem Sports and Entertainment.
Oh, dude, I don't know why anybody's paying money to keep these fucking idiots alive. Oh, yeah, someone's saying Bray is a healthy husky. Yeah, Bray is a healthy husky.
Right.
Exactly.
So, apparently, according to PW Insider, Anthem Sports Entertainment will officially become the parent company of TNA Impact Wrestling on January 1st, 2017. Anthem, the parent company of the Fight Network in Canada, became the savior of TNA. Didn't they say the same thing about Billy Corgan? When they pumped the money in for the last round of TV tapings, including the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, and then paid off former TNA president Billy Corgan to vanish from the company and drop his lawsuit against TNA. The settlement with Corrigan was announced on November 29th, paying the loans that he was owed. The Canadian company announced that they had provided TNA with a credit faculty to fund operations on the 3rd. Anthem is TNA's exclusive broadcaster in Canada, as well as the exclusive worldwide digital streaming partner for all of TNA's programming from here on forward. It's already a stake in Impact Ventures prior to the credit deal. It's expected that Anthem will own around 85% of TNA, with Aerolux holding 10% and Dixie Carter holding 5%.
This fucking idiot bitch. She's a fucking idiot, dude. So she's willing to sell 85% of the company to some fucking online streaming thing that she knows jack diddly dick about, but she wouldn't have sold it to Billy Corgan.
Right. Right.
Oh my God. Dude, if I was Billy Corgan, like, I would just be like, can we get someone to just fucking beat the shit out of this woman? Someone break her fucking kneecaps. She sucks. She took all that fucking money from him just for it. I'm not gonna sell my company. 3 months later,
Right.
Here you go.
Exactly.
Here you go, bunch of fucking people that probably